Can you hear me? Can you hear me? All one of you. Okay, number one. Let's go turn the fan off. Hang on a second. Wait. Oh, hello. Just a couple minutes. We're going about 4 o'clock. Feel free to ask a question if you want. And so all those Sound of Music 4Ks came without slip covers. That was fast. Yeah, we actually got those about 2 weeks late. I ordered those the day I saw them on my distributor's website. It's Sony. We're just having to roll with whatever punches there are at this point. They arrest the rat bastard digital code thief. No, but it's funny. We were receiving the Sound of Music movies today, and it looked like his handiwork. It was, the fold at the bottom of the shrink, the shrink wrap, like this. We have a Sound of Music where digital code actually is sticking out. So it's pretty funny that he's actually trying to rob us in from another place, from another plane. I am very confident that they will arrest that guy. It's going to basically just boil down to no one's going to knock on his door, but it's going to boil down to a cop being behind him at a stoplight or him speeding or something like that. So like I said, it's just a matter of time. It could be 6 months. It could be tomorrow. I'm patient. I'm very patient. All right, it's 4 o'clock. It's a few people on, so we'll get going here. Hello, my name is Mark. Still trying to figure out everything in reverse land. Here we are. I own Orbit DVD in West Asheville, beautiful West Asheville. A beautiful day, beautiful month so far. It's been great. The temperature's down a little bit, humidity's down. This area of the country gets tons of colorful leaves, but nothing this year. It's all green and might actually just fall off green. I have no idea. I think tourism's way down. Well, that's still post Helene, and just the economy's kind of in shaky ground, so that always helps or hinders tourism, no matter what happens to the economy. So a lot to talk about today. Tons of stuff to talk about today. We got back from Louisville, Kentucky, one of my favorite towns in the country. I absolutely love Louisville. I would live in Louisville if it wasn't humid. It's more humid than here, I think, but it's also in Kentucky, which is actually probably worse than North Carolina, which seems to be doing all it can to screw things up themselves. So, yeah, what can you do? But anyway, I love Asheville, and here we are. That was my last event for the year. I'm not going to be doing anything else, so you're stuck with me until the end of the year. We got some major changes happening pretty soon, and then we're going to be doing some major, humongous physical changes involving our store at the beginning of the year. So I will let everybody know what's going on as soon as I can. First of all, let's talk about some upcoming changes that's going to be soon. So we are expecting in about a week and a half to go live with a brand new pre-order system. Is more on the back end for us. It actually will probably, I think it will immediately eliminate probably about 50 to 75% of the paperwork we do. It's going to make things a lot easier for us, for you. So fingers crossed as go. There'll be some mistakes, some stress testing, and some fixes to do. But the app team's been wonderful. They've been very communicative, and they've done everything. They're actually making it for us, kind of. They already are an app company for Shopify, but they have offered to make the changes that we want to make things better for you. So you're going to see some immediate changes on the website as soon as we go live with it. If you have a spreadsheet to to keep up with when these new releases are coming out, the pre-orders. You might want to keep doing that. That's up to you. If you're, if you're an analytical mind. However, if you're not, the first change you're going to see is a very easy way to bundle at least three pre-orders together. I'm not going to give too much away, but anyway, and that's provided they don't push the street date back like they did with Good, Bad, and the Ugly. So anyway, pre-order app is coming soon for us, and that means you too. It doesn't mean an app that you can look on your phone. You still can't do that yet. Maybe an Orbit app would be great if I ever have time to even mess with that. But for the time being, you're still stuck with us on your phone and Shopify and all that stuff. And we're very excited about this. We're also going to be changing how we do shipping. It's all going to be for the better. So we everything worked out so far until everything was going okay. Still stressful for us until last week. Last week was a ball breaker. We like with a combination of well, the arrow titles basically. So you're talking about, In the Mouth of Madness. You're talking about Miss 45 and Return of the Living Dead. We had so many pre-orders of those came in at the same time. Good, Bad, and the Ugly with the other two films actually was a cakewalk compared to what happened last week. It's all out. We get it all taken care of. But we, whenever there's problems like this on our end, we see, okay, how can we fix this? So we are fixing that. All right. Used haul. This is maybe more of a newish haul, but I'll show you the two used titles first. First of all, a used announcement. Ty, who does most of the buying, pretty much all the buying now. I do the prepping for the most part with the used movies, at least the pricing. I do the pricing and sorting. But anyway, Ty's going to be at the Living Dead weekend next weekend. So he's taking all of next week off. So if you have any used items you want to take care of, you email him now, he'll be able to see it, but he's going to be gone next week. So it'll be like a week delay after if you send it to us next week. So keep that in mind. There'll be not really pausing used sales, but the buying part of it, but he will not be here. And I don't have much time on my hands. So I would love to sit there and go through all that. Anyway, this is going to be a couple of used items, and everything else is actually we just bought new. Some of the stuff we just bought. We bought a huge collection for somebody. It was about 12 boxes worth of stuff. We buy collections, by the way, if you don't know that. But anyway, we buy collections. We buy new, used. We buy everything for the most part, except for the DVD of Wedding Crashers. I think I still have 100 copies of that lying around somewhere. Anyway, all these will go live at 5 p.m. today. That is 5 p.m. Let's start off with this one. Now, this one, I think the price shot up immediately, and then Eureka, or one of our favorite companies, released them separately, at least two separate sets. But anyway, here is the Zulawski box set right there. Yeah. 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 There's no backer card or day card at this point, but this is in great shape. The book has got a bit of a fold on it. Everybody's selling off previous versions of this film because there's, I think, 20 billion different new versions of Dust Devil coming out. But anyway, here's Dust Devil. This is actually is a great company. This is, well, at the time it was Koch or Coke. It's now Playon. Uh, Probably the best company, one of the best companies in Germany. And that's a pretty cool set. Of course, the booklet will be in German. So, but someone told me just break out the Google Translate on your phone, and he actually reads the booklet. It's pretty ingenious, actually. He reads the booklet by using Google Translate. So that's really cool. Haven't seen one of these in a while. Everything here is new. Haven't seen one of these in a long time, but it's always fun. You get the room. There you go. There you go. That's it. Of course, there's a Blu-ray that comes and goes with this. The room. Most of Code Red's material or catalog, a lot of it has been picked up already again by other companies. I think this one's still maybe out of print. Devil's Wedding Night. It's a good one. but not too expensive. Most of the Code Red movies are not worth it, or not worth, but they're worth it to us. But they're not that expensive. But anyway, I think that's like around $30. All right, let's look at the big boys here. We can't have a used haul without showing Vinegar Syndrome. But anyway, here is a brand new copy or still in the shrink of Existence, which oddly enough, I think the standard is almost as expensive as this one is. Existence, there you go. This is new. This was also new, and thank you, Vinegar Syndrome, for actually releasing the standard kind of a standard. They've never done it for a VSA title, but here is Iron Angels. This is brand new. Iron Angels. Here we go. Use that hand. Yeah, this one's in great shape. Let's see what's more expensive here. We'll do this one first. This one is not the 4K box set, so this might sit on the shelf for a little bit, but it's a Blu-ray set of the Golden Harvest collection. This is excellent, really great, good stuff there. Now this one does have a little bit of box damage, like right there and right there. Then finally, always happy to see a nice chunky second sight, which we'll talk about here in a second, of course. But here is Drive, Drive, chunky, chunky box set here. That I don't see any flaws with this one at all. I think this one's great. Uh, Drive, one more time. Uh, Drive, 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 drive. There we go. Anyway, if there's anything you want to trade me, the easiest way to do it is stack the movies like so. Take some photos, send the photos to webmail@orbidvd.com. That is webmail@orbidvd.com. I'll give you a quote, or Tom will give you a quote. If you like that quote, mail them in. And after a quality check, we'll send you either cash or credits. That is the used haul for the week. And once again, Ty will be gone next week for Living Dead weekend in Monroeville. I can't make that one, unfortunately, but we will be pausing any activity with used buying next week. So feel free to send anything in. Feel free to send us an email, but it's going to be about a week, week and a half before Ty gets caught up. So that's the used haul for the week. All right. So what I'm going to do now is, I believe, I'm just going to, I think this has worked before better. This format is I'm going to run through everything without answering questions, and then we will set up a Q&A, which I could probably have Paul or Charles separate this out later if you want to watch it later, and you can just, some of you just maybe want to jump to the Q&A. That'll be at the end here. So pre-orders for the week. The first one is, this was announced last Friday. We are carrying a new version of Vinegar Syndrome's The Keep with, I think, a better hard case. That is an exclusive to, I think it's their subscribers, but also it's an exclusive to us. Any online retailer that does business, direct business with Vinegar Syndrome. Thanks, guys, for letting us do this. By the way, Vinegar Syndrome. I like this slip. I like this hard case better, to be honest. Of course I do. Of course I do. Uh, all right. You're talking about chunky. You're talking about big. Let's talk about Second Sight. Let's talk about Possession 4K pre-orders up now, and Reanimator 4K is up now. I'm real curious about both of these because this, for some of these, this is probably the second or third 4K release of these movies. However, lots of people collect Second Sight, and I'm excited well, excited. I'm curious to see how these do. I mean, they're doing great, but I would say if there wasn't the was it Ignite, and then of course Umbrella for the two films releasing 4Ks previously, I think that this could be some of the biggest selling items we ever had. But once again, I think a lot of people are happy with the transfers of the previous version. So if you like the movie, you might just want to stick with the movie. If you want all the special bells and whistles, or just to show off the Second Sight box set on your shelf, that's available for you too. Criterion just dropped a bunch of stuff for January. This is a great month for this, actually. Great movies here. Birth, which is effed up, man. That is a screwed up movie. Jonathan Glazer, I think, did that one, right? So that one, Kiss of the Spider Woman, excellent film. Probably one of the first maybe art house films I ever saw. We heard it was awesome. I remember seeing the ad. I was a teenager. Maybe I was 16 or 17 at that time, and maybe it wasn't what I was expecting. I didn't know what the movie was about, but incredible, incredible film. These are all 4Ks, by the way. Captain Blood, which is absolutely one of my favorite classic movies. Errol Flynn, that and Robin Hood definitely shot him up in the stratosphere as far as stardom goes. John Huston's The Dead, which is his last film, and then finally some 4K upgrades for previous Criterion titles, Yee Yee and Dead Man. And there's also going to be a new, it's a Blu-ray. It's going to be a new Martin Scorsese's World Cinema Project. I think that's what the title is, Volume 5. So keep an eye out for that. This next one is odd because it's not US. It's Severin UK doing Wild Geese. There is this big old chunky set, looks like a hardbound book in this thing. And then there's going to be just a standard edition coming out in 4K as well. Fun movie. Yeah, really fun movie. I my I think I saw the email, just sort of curious why, but my guess is rights issues, although they have the rights to the Blu-ray in the States, so I'm not quite sure what's happening now. But that's Severin UK doing this. We're choosing to do the Shout Factory big chunky set of Perfect Blue 4K. We are about out of our allocation of Boogie Nights 4K UK Steelbook. I think that the US Steelbook was an exclusive somewhere, or we just don't trust it. However, we can get allocation for Warner Brother product in the UK. So we decided to go forward with that one. So that's available now. These are from our friends at Radiance, our good friends at Radiance, The Wild Child, Blood of Revenge, and Illustrious Corpses. From Studio Canal, Hammer Films, not from Hammer Studios, from Studio Canal. I think they missed a golden opportunity to have a. We don't make fun of Ralph Bates, but we like the overacting a lot of Ralph Bates. I mean, he's great. He's great, I think. But anyway, they could have easily have had the what was it Ralph Bates Dracula one he's in? Is it Taste of Blood of Dracula? I can't remember. But anyway, these are selling very well. Studio Canal does great work as always, but Scars of Dracula 4K and the Horror of Frankenstein 4K. He is in Horror of Frankenstein, but he's not in Scars of Dracula. We are getting Dogma 4K from Umbrella, and then also from Umbrella, I believe it's Umbrella, the Infernal Affairs Trilogy 4K. Uh, that's it for pre-orders from me. There is a gazillion pre-orders. I just cherry picked ones that really interested me and maybe you. But anyway, get on our pre-order page. Actually, it's been redesigned. It's down on the screen here. It has been redesigned a little bit, so there's going to be highlights, and then you go down to the page as well. But anyway, hundreds and hundreds of pre-orders are on there right now, so feel free to get on and browse for yourself. New releases. Now then, another big release for new releases. We're kind of in between crazy weeks. Last week was crazy week. This week's still crazy, but next week is also crazy week, which we'll talk about that here in a minute. But anyway, the Florida Project, Second Sight's big set of Florida projects available now. This could be my favorite film by him. I think it is for a lot of people. Tangerine maybe too, but anyway, those two films are fantastic, and I'm glad both of them are Second Sight films. Outland 4K is available now, as well as the Sadness 4K as available now. We have dropped some Trons. We dropped them, I think, yesterday. It is the slip-covered standard edition of Tron and Tron Legacy 4K, and I think maybe Tron, the first Tron on Steelbook there. We would still expect to get U.S. copies of the Steelbook back in, but until then, these are a little more expensive. But the UK Steelbook is available now. We just mentioned this earlier, Sound of Music. This came without a slipcover, so my guess is it's standard from now on, or until Sony makes more slipcovers. We've seen this a lot with these major labels. We will get a slipcover at first, or not, and then the restock will have a slipcover, which sucks. I don't like that, but they don't care about slipcovers, honestly. But anyway, we have the Sound of Music 4K available now. Well, it's a standard version. I think there's nothing's a steelbook on this one. But anyway, what I'm hearing is this transfer is fantastic of Sound of Music. So lots of flag ripping in it. What else here? Oh, from our friends at Criterion, I just mentioned a bunch of pre-orders. This is Cronenberg week, right? So we got the History of Violence and the Shrouds. Now the Shrouds is unusual because it's a Blu-ray release; it's not a 4K. But we also got in one of my favorite films by Ken Russell, Altered States. Actually, I bought it's a Cult on Cult. Um, Altered States shirt. I should have worn that for today. I'm wearing a Turnabog today, but anyway, that is available now. BFI's Eyes Without Face, and I think last week was the Criterion Eyes Without Face. There's a steelbook for Clue. Clue. If you heard, if you've heard the news, there's going to be maybe a Clue-ish Netflix show coming out. So that's interesting. From TerraVision, Arbor Day and Invader. Those are available now. I'll talk about the other ones here in a second. Eddington, we got the 4Ks from A24. So we're carrying Eddington 4K, and then we're out of the blues, but those will be coming back in tomorrow. There's a really great looking Beetlejuice 2 film collection. I picked a bunch up. I think those will be good sellers, but those are there too. Pocket Money, that's just one out of, it feels like maybe 100 movies came out this week. Just get on the website, get under new releases, and you'll see everything there. Restocks. I just want to mention that we're hoarding. Sometimes we hoard, and we're hoarding the Cats. This is the UK version of 88 Films, The Cats. It's the exact same version as the US one, except for it has this. Oh no, it has that at the bottom of it. But anyway, we're trying to get more copies of it. We want cats as long as we live. We want so many cats that we won't know what to do with them. But anyway, if you know anybody that wants the cat, we got it. And they are region free if that's a problem. It's a 4K, not 4K, it's a Blu-ray. Sorry, that's region free. Also, this dropped this sort of in our lap a little bit yesterday. We didn't really know when it was coming. But anyway, we finally fulfilled the pre-orders of Hack-A-Lantern by Massacre. The cover looks great, by the way. I'm hearing some mixed things about the transfer, but it's Hack-A-Lantern. But anyway, we put the rest up on our site for sale, and it's sold out like in 30 minutes. So we're gonna restock, and then hopefully we're gonna be able to get those to you by. I'm hoping by Halloween. We'll see what happens there. So we'll see how much of a hustle we can do there. Um, so that's mostly for restocks and hopefully a restock to come. Upcoming, we are sending out the 2023 version of Toxic Avenger pre-orders right now, and then we're gonna go live with 2 different versions. A really cool lenticular cover, and then a steelbook of that too. So we got both versions of that. Sledgehammer will be available tomorrow as well from TerraVision. We finally finished the allocation of that for pre-orders from Imprint or Viavision, I think. Tales of Adventure 7, 8, 9. 8 and 9 look, well, there's some amazing films in there. A lot of films on 9 are very, very pricey US releases like Twilight Time and things like that. So that's one thing you might want to check out. Also, the new installment of Bewitched. Bewitched always we always sell the heck out of this, even though we finally got in the sort of standard complete series on Blu-ray of Bewitched. I think it's Blu-ray. Anyway, yeah, these 2 season sets are selling just phenomenally well. And of course, this might be the best Dick, right? Is it Dick York or Sargent? I can't remember who's the second Dick, but somebody else will be there. Upcoming also next week is going to be our other shit week for us, not for you. It will be also an amazing week for us because we're going to be taking all the shit home as well. But anyway, any day now we are expecting Martyrs from Eureka, this amazing looking set from Eureka. A lot of these limited sets from Eureka sell out immediately. So if you did not pre-order this, we closed our pre-order. That's another thing that's going to be changing when we change over the pre-order system, by the way. Um, you'll be able to pre-order up until us putting the movie out. Dick Sargent was the second one. Thank you so much there, Mr. Moody. Anyway, um, where was I? Oh, Martyrs. The Martyrs set should be coming pretty soon. Also, we were able to pick up the UK 4K steelbook of Weapons. We should be able to see those hopefully by the midweek next week, as well as any day now. We're looking for allocation for the Nightmare on Elm Street limited steelbook set. We have got we've went up to our allocation for pre-orders. We will always put some on the site afterwards, and we're going to try to get more. Warner Brothers has been very good to us in the UK. We haven't had too many problems with UK Warner Brothers titles, so I'm hoping we'll be able to pick up more, but it's going to be hard. It's hard to say. Uh, we won't know until the dust settles after next week. So anyway, that's it for me as far as what's going on. I'm going to take a sip of water and scroll up and start answering y'all's very insightful questions, inquisitive questions. I didn't mean to sit on Kentucky. They have Mammoth Cave, and actually, all the river towns in Kentucky are amazing, and Lexington's awesome, and also Bourbon. I like Bourbon a lot. Um, so Kentucky's cool. Okay, I'll answer this one. Any chance of the Nightmare on Elm Street steel books arriving to you before the street date of 10/27? That's normally the case. Usually, anything that is from the UK, we will mostly see the week before. Warner Brothers does not want us to put it on social media before the 27th. So, you know, are there any plans to add Apple Pay to the checkout as a payment option? I think I looked into this. It's a Shopify thing. Shopify makes deals with these places. I think PayPal actually was not a Shopify partner until maybe the past couple of years, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. It's Shopify's domain. It's their say on all this stuff. So if they don't allow a type of payment system, then we can't do it. So I'll look again, and then sometimes these things pop up. So a good example is Square. I believe Square was compatible with Shopify, and then it wasn't. So that got just cut out. So anyway, I'm hoping that uh, Apple Pay is on there. I'm pretty sure I looked and it was not, but I'll check again. I see the web page got a little changed up. Yeah, just keep things fresh, right? Will Superman 2025 or Sinners Steelbook US versions ever come back in stock? I don't see that happening. I haven't heard anything. We never got Superman, by the way. We got the standard with a slipcover, but we never ever saw the Steelbook. That's the nature of the beast. The Steelbooks in the U.S. We are the last in line to get these. So if we can't get guarantees on these things, then a lot of times we don't even bother. Great to hear the store is growing. I'm planning on dropping by at the end of November. Oh, thank you. Give everybody a little bit of hint of what's happening to the physical store. It's staying open, by the way. I have a concept I've been thinking about for years. The seed was the bug in my ear was put in by Josh Schaefer from Lunch Meat, by the way. Anyway, he's going to help me. Basically, people like you just said, um, people come from all over to visit Orbit. We are, I guess, technically still a video store. I still identify as a video store. That's my blood. That's my DNA. But anyway, we want to make it a video store. So that's all I'm going to tell you for right now. I want to hit a Living Dead weekend next year. Yeah, so I think next year will be the last year. You're talking about the Living Dead weekend in the Monroeville Mall. If you don't do this next weekend, which has been amazing, Ken Foree's back. He doesn't show up for every one of these, but the cast of Return of the Living Dead are there, and I mean it's an amazing. It's always I love that event. It feels like it is a family. It's the Romero family, and To me, I love going to that one and vending that one. Just, we just got too much shit happening this month as far as shipping and things like that, so we couldn't make it this month. But I believe the one in the spring next year could possibly be the last one. I don't know if you've been seeing the news where Walmart is starting to set up the process of demolition for that mall. And, the Living Dead weekend will always continue, but it will not be at that mall because that mall would not exist. Do you guys have a system for buying used items, like half of retail or going price, for example? Yeah, so we do kind of have a guide, but however, like guides change and things change with, a good example is, let me those so a good example is this. Uh, a lot of the way vinegar syndrome works is if within the resale market is an item goes out of print. Now this is out of print. So like even the standard's out of print, but the limited edition, slipcover, whatever, it's a really hot title. Keep Iron Angels, which I won't pull out here. If it's really hot, then the prices on eBay shoot up, and then they start to wobble and come back down. And we normally see stuff when they're kind of going like this. We do buy stuff when it goes like this, though. But anyway, we do tend to pay more for 4Ks, sets, that type of thing. I will say that most of what we get from people are people that have upgraded to a 4K version, and they're selling us, like, say, older Kino or Shout Factory. We get a lot of Vinegar Syndrome because a lot of people are subscribers and they don't even watch them. They're not open. We get so much Vinegar Syndrome from the past, say, 5 years. Uh, we love to see stuff from before that. Actually, I bought a bunch of new ones from before 2020. I just haven't put on the website yet. New Vinegar Syndrome titles. So it's almost a case by case basis, but not really. A lot of it has to do with how many versions of a film there are out there, and is there an upgrade at all? In most cases, there are, and then we just go from there. I would say, and I don't want to say run of the mill, but I say standard. Standard stuff, standard titles by Shout Factory, Kino, Vinegar Syndrome, Without Slip. Severin is a good one. Those are, we sell those for around $12, $13. So we give a portion of that. Then of course we give like I will give you a lot of money for, say, the limited Dawn of the Dead second sight set or the Witch if it's in great shape. I will give you more than half of what we're going to sell it for. But something like a Severin title that already has a 4K out again, it's a Blu-ray, it still will sell. It just, the price of this is a little bit lower on it. I hope that answers your question. And the worst thing you can do is say no. It's not the worst thing you can do. I mean, like, you can say no. It's like and also I would say if you want to test the waters with this as far as how much we want to do, just give us a stack or just send us a stack and just to feel us out, and we'll tell you, we can break it down for you too if you want. A lot of people think though that a lot of stuff that they have is worth gold. It's not. Quick question for you. I have approximately 250, 300 physical movies, looking to largely get out of the collecting space. I'm located in Buffalo, New York area. Are you into purchasing my amount of movies? Yes, we'll buy anything. I will not drive up to Buffalo to buy 300 movies. I might drive up to Buffalo mainly to drag my wife to Erie, which is where she lived for 8 years, to force her to show me around. But also, I would drive to Buffalo if you had thousands of movies. But anyway, what you can do is you can mail them to me. The media mail is relatively cheap. When we give you a quote, we add the media mail value of shipping in with that quote. So, say you send us this huge box, it costs $20 media mail to send it. We add that $20 into the quote for you to do. It's up to you to box it up and ship it. And also, depending on the rarity of the items, I don't want this. I've had something like this sitting on the bottom of this huge Amazon box with a bunch of hardly any. Well, actually, we had a Jess Franco book that was worth hundreds of dollars, completely torn apart, sitting in the bottom of an Amazon box with no packing on it, like shipped to us like we ship to you, basically. So, um, I mean, if you want to take the time and ship to us, that's fine. I also say you'll always make more money on eBay if you want to go that route. You'll always make more money on these trading groups that are on Facebook if you want to go that route. There'll always be more Facebook Marketplace. That's an easier option for a lot of people, and you will make more money doing it that way. But if you want to just get rid of it, which a lot of people do, or like people send it to us for credit, like we just priced out 12 boxes of this amazing collection of most of the stuff's not even open. It's extremely rare titles, a lot, well, not extremely rare, but some rare, highly sought after titles. But we had 12 boxes come to us. So, uh, you know, if you're willing to do that, then that's the route to go. But I always, again, I always say there's other options for you if you want to maximize the amount of money you want to make. Oh, you okay? I didn't keep reading. You want to drive from Buffalo? Okay, great. Come visit us. Yeah, come on down. Yeah. So in this case, yes, send us the photos. We will give you a quote before you even come down. So we don't want you to drive down and then and then feel like we gave you something under what you expected to be. So please contact us after Ty gets back. He will look at it and we'll give you the quote for sure. And we'll factor in gas a little bit. Devil's Wedding Night is excellent. I agree. Well, and thank you for such a seamless trading experience. Had made my life so much easier. No problem. Yeah, we're happy to clean up the shelf space, and we love buying. We do love buying the South Factories, the out of print, the older versions of stuff. Lots of people are super. They're perfectly happy with like 2014 releases, 2010 releases from the Severins and the Vinegar Syndromes and the Shout Factories and stuff like that. So we even though in Criterion we buy I buy I'm like going, there's no way we're gonna be able to sell 10 copies of the Barry Lyndon Blu-ray from Criterion, but we do. So it sells. It always sells. I do love that drive set. I do it too, man. Like a lot of this stuff, unfortunately, being shipped to us, a lot of stuff does get damaged in shipping, but this person did an excellent job. Actually, this one I think was brought into the store. Actually, take that back. Time to double dip on the key. Yes. Possession has been released a lot in the past 2 years, but not much before that. Well, there's the Mondo Vision version, which was still preferable to that French 4K that came out. People still preferred the US Mondo Vision, which I'm sure they're working on 4K. I need to talk to Mozzie. I haven't talked to him for a while, but people still prefer the Blu-ray Mondo Vision to that French 4K, and I think that might have been 4 years ago. Was that 4 years ago? I can't remember. So, but you're right. I mean, it's like it's one of those films that like you're not going to find it in Walmart, so or Best Buy. You, do you know how often Vinegar Syndrome are releasing their retail exclusives? Uh, haven't heard anything yet from them. They actually they were asking for feedback. I gave them one. There's one that is one of my favorite Vinegar Syndrome releases. One of the best worst movies of all time. And they said they'll never work with that man again. So I guess not. But I shot him a small list and said, "Hey, this is cool. Hey, this is cool. Hey, this is cool." So we'll see what happens. I just got the creator. the pre-order fees and the sites, but in terms of input, how fast do you get your stuff after release date? A lot of times we get stuff before release date. So keep that in mind. Here, let me look up. Okay, I have to look up somewhere else. I'm looking up the street date of these Tales of Adventure that just came out. Yeah, the Australian titles, we just a lot of times we get them before, but then there's going to be sometimes that some that are come later. So it's always loosey goosey in Australia. Okay, here we go. I can look this up. Oh, okay. She put October. Okay, I don't have a strict street date for that one, but anyway, a lot of the Umbrella and Imprint titles we do get before street date. The allocation is weird sometimes, and we will get this. We'd be able to supply a pre-order, and it might take a couple more weeks to be able to get the stock we're going to put on the site. But it's just hard to say. I can't give a definite answer to that, but we sometimes we'll get them before, we sometimes we get them a little bit after. Dare I ask how much that Drive box set goes for? A little less than I thought. It goes live at 5. The cat is awesome. The cat is awesome. When will the Curse of Frankenstein from Warner Archive be released? Just got my big set from Orbit last week. It's beautiful. Yes, it's amazing. I think it's supposed to come out 2 days ago, but we've yet to see our allocation on that. Weapons was a couple of days late itself. That also is a Warner Bros. Title, I believe. Um, so my guess is they're just it's fourth quarter. Everything's going to be a little bit behind, I think, as far as production goes from this point on forward to the end of the year, unfortunately. Don't quote me on that, but anyway, I do expect to see Curse pretty soon. Are you going to get the Italian 4K of Once Upon a Time in America? Yes, I just placed an order for that. Unfortunately, our guy in Europe, it's not like he's unreliable, but we rarely do pre-orders for continental European releases. So anything German or Italian or French. But we just ordered some. But like, whenever we see this over there in continental Europe, a UK or US release is almost guaranteed. So we'll see. But yes, I've ordered some. Are you guys going to sell the Wild Robot Steelbook? The UK, yes. Is there anywhere there going to be a standard version of Descent 4K outside the admittedly awesome Lionsgate Limited Steelbook Edition? Um, what we're finding is when we're able to get the UK version, the Lionsgate version, it's usually the same. So I'm hoping we'll see a standard at some point. There's also be a great one. I know Vitavision, I think, is in a lock with Lionsgate products. So I would expect to see. Unfortunately, it could be expensive, but they're hard box. I can see them doing both. We need Ken Russell's The Devils. Do you have any kind of inside information for a future Blue or 4K release? I say come by our store. No, no, they've buried that one. I have no idea why. No idea why. Well, I know why. It's still I watch it about once a year. It is an extremely effective film, unsettling, amazing. Probably one of my number one films. I have probably 10 number one films, I guess, but The Devils is way up there for me, and it's a damn shame. I mean, you can't even have someone like say Scorsese or James Cameron get that thing released. And I'm sure Criterion probably every quarter asks Warner Brothers for it. You know, we'll see. Never say never. They all need money right now, so it could possibly happen. What time did you say use titles update today? At 5 o'clock. You also said that's the last of your Boogie Night copies for pre-order. I'm assuming it's almost gone. I think we've been able to get allocated more copies. It wasn't sold out when I checked about an hour ago, so it might still be available. If not, we'll be all once we get confirmation that we got more allocated, we'll put it back up. Um, when that stops, I'm not quite sure. All right, so let me update. Let me tell you about these. So most of these are new as far as the used haul goes. So the only two used ones you'll see come on the up is Dust Devil and this one. I'll show this to you again, but the rest are new. So you'll need to search for these. If you want the room, then this bad boy. But these are new, so these will not come up under the used search. So to keep that in mind. But 5 o'clock, about 15 minutes. Any word on when you'll receive Father Knows Best? We got it. Probably tomorrow. From Imprint, and then will you have Over Your Dead Body from 88 Films for pre-order? Yes. Yes. Correct about Walmart. Walmart tearing down Monroeville Mall 2027. However, when is that? It would be the beginning of 2027 or the end of 2027. So it possibly could be one. There's definitely one more Living Dead weekend, and my guess is they also do October. There might be three more. Maybe there might be a 2027 Living Dead weekend. Thanks for answering a great deal about used pricing. Oh, no problem. Yeah, I've tried to be as transparent as possible. Umbrella did a really nice possession 4K set, but out of print now. Yeah, that was a great set. And honestly, I'm not calling it my dumb eyes. I when I watch a 4K movie, I'm not really trying to. I'm not sitting there looking for the bit rate or like I have a sound bar or I have two humongous. I just sit down. Two humongous thumping 70 speakers in another room. So I'm not really. I'm just looking for my experience of watching a movie. Some of y'all saw my post about another thing being released is the Shout Factory's Nosferatu tomorrow. If you saw my review of BFI's Nosferatu, you can take that as a grain of salt. Uh, I liked the Umbrella Possession quite a bit, the 4K, um, but I also loved the Mondo Vision, and I didn't personally see it being enough of a leap for me uh, to upgrade to Umbrella, although I loved it. Of course, it might come down to sound for a lot of you guys, or special features, or commentary, and things like that. Um, I will take on this possession for sure because I think it'll just be packed with stuff. And the second question here is: do you expect the possession second sight box to sell out? You know, it's hard to say. Second, we still have the Hitcher. Now, then, a reason why we have the Hitcher is because of Hurricane Helene. I think if we weren't disrupted by the hurricane, we probably would be out of the Hitcher at this point. But we're almost out of the Hitcher. So that's been a year. Uh, we will get a lot of copies. Like the Cronenberg releases earlier this year, the Brood and Scanners from Second Sight. I thought those would sell out immediately, and we ordered a ton of them. And I still stand behind it. I'm happy to hold on to these forever if need be. But uh, they're not making to order Second Sight, but they really don't have a Vinegar Syndrome saying limited to 12,000 copies. Arrow doesn't either. It's like we're going to make this many copies, uh, and not let anybody know how many copies to get. But I do expect that one. That one is a grail for a lot of people, even though we're on our I think technically third release before 4K. Someone might be able to remember the French company that put that out a few years ago. But anyway, I I do expect it to sell out. I think it will last through Christmas and probably into the new year. The new year is also very busy because everybody's getting tax returns back, and there's always some good releases in January too. Don't sleep on it, but we will have plenty to go on the website when it comes out, and I think it would last through Christmas, no problem. Hey, Mark, I'm confused about the new Perfect Blue 4K from Shout Factory. I pre-ordered the blue box, but G Kids has a version that looks different. Yeah, so Shout Factory almost always has a limited site exclusive. So that might be that site exclusive you're seeing, but the innards might be the same. Do, do you think that could be it? There probably is a there probably is a Shout Factory exclusive for Perfect Blue. That Tales of Adventure 9 set has some of my absolute favorite childhood movies. Yeah, it's everything that showed on TV, right? I think some amazing stuff on that set. I should have brought one up here. Next time, I guess. We be getting Jimmy and Stiggs with slips from Vinegar Syndrome. Yes. Have you watched any Park Chan Wook movies? One of my favorite guys. Yes. I haven't seen the last one, so I need to watch that one. If I had a problem on the website and need tech support, what's the contact information for tech support at Orbit? Just email us at webmail and they'll forward it to Charles, who's doing our website and stuff like that. I will say that a lot of this stuff can be solved by it, eliminating what the problem is or eliminating what isn't the problem. So the first thing to do, this happens sometimes with the the Wish app, the Wish List app, or a couple of those type of app things out there, back in stock app, maybe. Uh, the first thing to do is to try a different device. If you're using your phone, get on a computer if you can. Use someone else's phone to see how that works. If that's the case, if it works fine on the computer or someone else's phone or anything like that, then it's your phone. A lot of these problems can be solved by cleaning your cache or cookies as well. That happens a lot. So the first step would be to try a different device. The second step would be to clean your cache and cookies and see if that helps you. In most cases, it does. However, we've seen some stuff where it is these apps that are causing some disruption and some interruptions, and we've relayed that information back to these app companies out there. I don't suppose you've heard of any rumors of House in 4K someday, have you? It's got to happen, right? I think Eureka still has the rights in the UK. Eureka has been great with 4K, and then Criterion has the rights in the States. So, um, why not all his films in 4K, right? Why not do a box set, but a standalone for House, of course. Okay. All right. Blind ball possession from you guys was here. What a treat. Yeah. So great to hear my love from you on that one. Let's grab the cat as well. And you said it was a favorite. Loved it. The cat will be in my top 10 for the year. That that director is just bonkers. Like he did, the story of Ricky. Incredible director. Just like, and I love the Hong Kong films because like they were like whatever dumb idea they thought of to do in a film, they just did it. It's like it didn't matter how cheesy it looked or how bad it looked or whatever. It was that is incredible time to be alive. In the 80s and 90s, watching Hong Kong films. And possession, I have an idea for. I don't have any tattoos, but I might get one here, possession related. As a customer who's an awesome artist, and it's going to be a take. It's not going to be directly taken from the film, but it'll be an interpretation a little bit. I'm still, I don't know. I'm 56. I figure my skin is sagged enough now to where it's not going to look shitty. Maybe it will look shitty when I'm 80. If I make it to 80, we'll see what happens. Any news of Arrow's Hard Boiled and the Killer pre-orders coming up? Haven't seen anything yet. No. So they haven't announced the December titles, right? Except for the TMNT box set. So I do expect there to be some stuff coming out in December besides TMNT. We'll see what happens. Oh, no, that's bothering me. And I'm hoping. we're trying to time this we're updating our pre-order process on our end. To make our life a lot easier. I'm hoping that we'll get that live before the hard boiled and the killer get announced. Selling the Dark Limited Edition of TerraVision coming. Yes, we will have copies live tomorrow. What are your thoughts on John Woo films? Will Arrow's artwork be better than what we're getting from Shout? Like the Shouts, Arrow, also maybe a little bit of Arrow. Maybe it's more like Arrow. Maybe it's like BFI and Criterion. It's like a lot of stuff comes out on both sides of the Atlantic. A lot of times they share transfers. Thankfully for some of you guys, the Nosferatu will not be shared. That's what we've heard. But anyway, sure. It just depends on your aesthetic. If you just want to watch the movie, like Shout Factory really, they do bang up jobs and releases and stuff, but most of it's just a slipcover and things like that. They do great. They do great. Arrow, if you want one of the larger hard box things, something like this, I mean, of course, it's not the Arrow size, but if you want the Arrow, if you have an Arrow shelf, that might be the way to go. I personally double dipped with Return of the Living Dead. Uh, Mainly it's to see a difference. I didn't see much of a difference. Once again, I call it my dumb eyes. But I love that artwork for the Arrow set, and I took one home. You made me. I'm turning into you guys artwork and sets and stuff like that. If you want my personal opinion on John Woo, I think he's a genius. I think leading up to the first one we ever saw by him was Better Tomorrow 2. And, like Better Tomorrow 1 was more of a drama. Of course, we went back and watched that and watched 3 and stuff like that. But when it's spoiler alert here for Better Tomorrow 2, when they're just firing down the hallway and the bodies are piling up, it was like we're just looking. It's me. I was in college. We're just looking at each other like going, "What the there's a full room full of punks too, so it made things even more fun. I was like, well, what the hell are we watching? Um, Fantastic, fantastic. And of course, the killer came out right after that, and Hard Boiled sort of cemented him. I love his recent stuff. I haven't seen Violent Night yet, but the Red Cliffs, is it trilogy? Yeah, I watched all the Red Cliffs. I thought those were awesome. I like those a lot. His war movie is crazy. Like one of the most intense war movies I've ever seen. Forgot the name of it. One of you guys can pop that up there in the chat. How's it called? Anyway, yeah. John Woo, I think, is just. And I like. I mean, come on, you gotta like Face Off, right? And that's Harvey T to selling right. Is there an issue with BFI Nosferatu? There's zero issue with BFI Nosferatu. I liked it. Clearing the cookies fixed it. Great. Excellent. Still on the fence about Shout release as a killer and hard boiled. Love the boxes, but love the Arrow chunky box more. My shelf OCD is kicking in. Yeah. This is one like I really maybe would recommend you not double dipping just to save your wallet a little bit because I think you're going to get the same movie as far as like clarity and just transfer and things like that. It just depends on if you want it sooner or later, right? But in your case, if you have an Arrow shelf, wait. Yeah. It could be as soon as Christmas. We'll see. I have no idea what they're announcing in a couple of weeks, besides, the TMNT box set. Mark never lies. Mark never lies. Mark has been misled in the past. Uh, okay, like this went through the collecting community news cycle for a day, but last month we started getting an insane amount of not insane, but people wanting to return the BFI Nosferatu. I'm like going, what the hell's going on? And then I saw a review on Reddit where the reviewer erroneously was using screenshots to compare they said the original version. I guess they're meaning the Blu-ray of that. They didn't have the 35 millimeter. I mean, that's the original version, right? But anyway, what I noticed in this review was that the reviewer, intentionally or probably unintentionally, was comparing scenes but not shots or stills. So, for example, uh, Harker is Harker, yeah. What's his name? The great German actor was riding up to an inn where the gypsies were, and his the two screenshots he had of a previous version and the BFI version, uh, those were close to the exact same still. However, the second one was two shots of the inn, and there was a campfire in the first shot, and the smoke was just up a little bit. The second shot was a few frames later, or maybe a few seconds later, and the smoke at this point had completely covered, not engulfed, but completely covered the facade of the inn. And that, of course, being white smoke, white and gray smoke, that did obscure the colors of the inn. So I saw that review and I was like, huh. So anyway, someone returned it. I took it home. I watched it. I thought it was fine. Uh, it looks clean, maybe too clean for some tastes. Everybody's throwing out there an AI. However, I did consult someone that does transfers daily, and they say a lot of people blame just a bad transfer on AI. It can just be the people doing the transfer. It doesn't have to be AI to make it look like that. I think that one. I think a lot of people had problems with Johnny whenever she was in the film. It looked kind of glowing or maybe whitewashed. Maybe that was Herzog's vision. I don't know. So anyway, what happened is I posted a late night review, um, a little tongue in cheek to my Instagram followers, who kind of have my sense of humor. Most some do, some don't. So it was a little tongue in cheek, and if you read the review all the way through, you most people realized, okay, he's kind of goofing a little bit. I did like the transfer. Let me flat out say I liked that transfer that BFI had. I didn't hate it. Didn't hate it. I basically said I don't see the big deals. Anyway, I posted it, and I got to remember this. Anything I post, anything I say, potentially gets shared everywhere. I'm not trying to have that happen. I'm not saying that I'm, important enough to even have that happen. So like the guy that stole our digital codes like last week, that got shared everywhere. I did a post about it. It got shared on every forum everywhere. Uh, so people who do not know me, do not know my say sense of humor or get it, immediately started sitting on me, which is great. However, what I've seen is we actually had a very not complex way. We're 1 degree away from Werner Herzog, by the way. There's a guy that I've known for 25 years here. He owns a bar now down the road. I'm friends with him. But anyway, he has been Herzog's assistant on and off for the past, say maybe 8 or 10 years. So we could get Herzog, I think, if he wants to. But anyway, it went through the cycle in the day, and people just moved on. I still see some bitter responses about it on on Reddit about that. So whatever. I might have lost one customer or five, who knows? But I can say anything sometimes, and I'll lose 5 customers. This is the way it goes. So that's my story about the BFI Nosferatu transfer. I personally didn't have a problem with it. It's all up for interpretation, right? My joke now is to say that I want to be if you know the history of Rotten Tomatoes, I want to be the Armand White of 4K reviews. I think someone out there needs to be that guy. Sound music, brilliant. I'll be the one that gets there. Crap. I'm the one guy who absolutely says transfer sound and music. But which I don't have time or effort to do because I am shit out. But not personally, but process along. I think I triple dipped on Return of the Living Dead. Anyone that can weave dozen handguns in both hands is a genius. Yes, I guess he was talking about John Woo there. Looking forward to the new Death Crocodile releases 2551 trilogy. Looks like it'll be really good. Yeah, we've heard some great things about this and kind of fear a little bit until now. So good on Death Crocodile put this out and really put him in the forefront. What's going on with Gator Bait? We heard they're close. When is TerraVision Student Bodies coming in? I don't know. For the Keep retail variant, they didn't say how many they've made. Did you ship all your allotment initial shipment, or can you get more later on? So the beauty about this arrangement with Vinegar Syndrome is we can now do something that we love to do, which is pre-order. We can't really pre-order the month's releases. I mean, you can, but there's really no reason to do it. We can now make the order, I guess. They I don't know how many they're going to do, but this gives us the opportunity, and Jesse, and I think Atomic's involved and things like that. It gives us all the opportunity to be able to pre-sell these movies. So very excited about that. I am, but I haven't heard about a limit. That's a good question, though. I'll have to ask that. With the Friday the 13th Blu-ray set now being out of print from Screen Factory, how long do we see a 4K set? I don't know. It also depends on rights, right? I mean, like some of the Friday the 13ths are already available. I mean, the later ones, the new line ones are already available. A couple of them are from Arrow. So we'll see who gets the rights. Yeah. I think that'll be a next year thing, right? I hope. I got no idea what the BFI release looks like, but I got the Shouts Nosferatu yesterday. I'm no expert, but it looks great to me. BFI one probably looks good. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I think maybe. I mean, what's the common criticism with a transfer? You take the AI out of it, right? So just like so criticism maybe. We all like film grain. So I guess maybe the BFI one could have some more film grain in it. I don't really remember. I didn't take notes. I didn't sit there taking notes the whole time. But for me as a and I'm not a casual movie viewer, but I watch a lot of movies. But I'm not sitting there trying to pick apart the technicality of the whole thing. So I think the film grain maybe was for some people was taken out of the BFI one. I thought maybe in the case of like a Johnny, and also the scenes with her with Kinski. I think maybe I think they both kind of shone a little, a little bit, shined. Is that the right word? I thought it added to it, honestly. But once again, my opinion, the right opinion. Okay, I think you have been answered this question online once or twice by everybody, but I'll and no offense, I'll answer it again. The street date for the Nightmare on Elm Street UK release, 4K Steelbook release, is October 27th, 10/27. Well, 10/27. So that is a week from this Monday. Week from this Monday. That is the date that Warner Brothers, one of the largest companies in the world doing this, wants me to release Night of the Living Dead. They have said in no uncertain terms in the past with their product, they don't want to see it on our social media until 10/27. So that is the date that the Nightmare on Elm Street UK 4K Steelbook release is coming out. Now then, pre-orders. We fulfill pre-orders. So your dad will get it. He'll get it. There's a lot of confusion, and maybe I need to make a video about this. There's a lot of confusion about street dates and when it's the same company. So in a lot of cases, these major studios, they will put out the American version first, and then a few weeks later, the UK version will come out. I have no idea why that happens. It happens a lot with Sony. It happens a lot with Warner Brothers. Paramount might be the same day or close to the same day. The release dates for Britain is Monday, whereas the US is Tuesday, by the way. So anyway, it's different street dates, and that's when it's going live on our site. Real shame that you guys got hit with that digital code thing. Funny thing is that I have no use for mine. I'll mail my unused codes to you so you accept a donation box. um, yeah, for those that don't know, we got hit by a guy that kind of amazingly, he did a very good job. There's four employees putting stuff out, so they're walking around him. He was able to see if I can do it. He was able. He pulled like a movie from the shelf. It had to have a digital code. So it was American releases only. It was very basic American releases, by the way. I mean, basic meaning like Terminator, things like that. And he sliced it with his finger, and he was able to pull out the digital code with his finger and put it back on the shelf, really in a matter of seconds. He got us for about $1,500, $2,000 worth of product uh, until we caught him. Um, he walked out the parking lot. People in the parking lot, people parking and stuff like that, blocked him in. So we got all his information. We got a clear as day video and photo. I will share the video. Don't worry about that. So anyway, don't worry about the digital codes. Actually, it was a lot of titles that we were not going to restock anyway, so it kind of cleared ourselves out in a weird way. I did reorder the Terminator, by the way. But anyway, UK releases do not have digital codes. I think it's a legality thing. So we the most expensive stuff we had stayed on the shelf. I just bought the Second Sight Drive box set, I think. Okay, well, we'll find out. I'm talking to you. I can't look it up. Do the Arrow and Shout Factory releases generally come in a couple weeks prior to release date? Shout Some is always the week before. Arrow US, it could be a few weeks before. Arrow UK is a week before. So keep that in mind. We buy Screen Factory posters to sell. We've tried it. We buy for $1 or two and we sell it for five. Not really. Everybody was really up on that for a while, and then they found out they had a room full of poster tubes. You should let more people know about the Great Silence 4K. I got the German one. I do too. One a few months and it looks great. Beats paying the film movement price. Yes, kind of expensive, huh? But yeah, that German version is the bee's knees. I love that to death. I love that movie to death. I don't know if you see me wear the shirt, a blue shirt I have, Kinski, and I forgot the French actor in that. But like one of my favorite westerns, amazing film, amazing score. Love it, love it, love it. I love spaghetti westerns. I'm a huge fan of them. Like everything else, people are getting into it. I guess the one drawback of spaghetti westerns is they're one note. There's only, it's all revenge. That's the only plot. There's no film that's spaghetti western with no revenge. I'm sure you'll come up with one or two to tell me, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's always revenge involved, and I love it. I love it. We want to go to Spain, and I immediately will book a trip to those locations. Well, my dad said he asked y'all if it's a US version. Y'all said it was, so I was just wondering if y'all got it yet. We do not have the US Steelbook. That was an Amazon exclusive. That's an Amazon exclusive. People are now selling that one for $800. $800. So sorry. He is getting the UK box set, which will play on American players. It's a 4K. Mark, what do you think about the delay from Halloween set print? I mean, we kind of expected it, I guess. The steelbook for Luc Besson's Big Blue looks great. Do you think the Sony release is standalone of their own? I think so. Like, I think someone asked a couple weeks ago about, individual releases of Besson's films from that box set. So yeah, I can imagine so. How's the Possession pre-order doing? Doing fantastic. Doing great. Are you gonna have extra copies of Nightmare on Elm Street 4K Steelbook collection from the UK? Yes. Not many, not many, and but we'll try to get more. We'll see. And recent history of these Steelbook box sets from Warner Brothers is we can get more. Uh, like James Bond's been a good indicator of that, but this one, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But we have copies to put on the site, yes. What's your take on Zulawski's on the Silver Globe? I watched it when Monovision released their 4K and thought it was great. Couldn't make any sense of it, but that footage is beautiful. Yeah, it's great. Once again, it's almost like David Lynch and Mulholland Drive. Mulholland Drive is two different projects put together, or something just totally realized when the first project fell through. Uh, it definitely is. You can tell the difference, right? Between the two, but still great. Yeah, I think it's fantastic. Any chance of getting the Ugly Stepsister media book? We'll check. We'll check. Hey man, you coming up for Living Dead weekend next weekend? Hey, Dead Pit. Hey guys, doing? We are not, but look for Ty. Ty he's a long time Orbit employee, but he'll be up there next week. I do plan on going back next June though. You guys have a great time. Are you gonna do interviews and stuff, or what's going on? How's your YouTube going? I love seeing you doing this for us collectors. So far so good. I'm happy with it. Yeah. I think it comes time to build an audience. There's gonna be people that won't leave Instagram, I guess, to watch this, but there will be people that it's a wider reach, and I do plan on making more content once the dust settles from this month. It's been a crazy couple months, 3 months, year or 2 years, but I do plan on making some content, probably some policy videos about us, lots of confusion about Q&A, used movies, things like that. Um, Also, maybe some, I like injecting my sense of humor, some tongue-in-cheek videos, maybe involving maybe some lightly roasting of y'all, the customers. Very lightly roasting. I love you. Love you, love you, love you. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. But there's some behavior patterns I like to call out a little bit. Like I said, a little tongue-in-cheek, a little cheeky, I guess. And but all for love. We were just hanging out and seeing Dawn and Saturday night in the theater. Never seen it in the theater. Yeah, any chance I get to see Dawn of the Dead in the theater, I go. I did go. I did go to see the 3D version, which I thought was fine. I think the only thing that happened is Rubenstein spent all the money on 3D and $0 on pumping that soundtrack up. That soundtrack it was dead. It was just flat. Um, so I don't know if you're going to see the 3D version or not. I really did not like the soundtrack or the sound, just not the soundtrack, the sound. Um, but I thought the 3D process was fun. It's exactly where you expected the 3D to be, chunks and things coming at you. Have fun though. But Ty will be at that screening of Dawn of the Dead too. It's also the cast screening of Return of the Living Dead as well. We can take a good roasting. No, you can't. I mean, you might be able to. Somebody, let's just say I lost probably five people over my review of Nosferatu from BFI. I'll probably lose five people after each video I make, which is fine. Please roast the customers. Oh, I can't wait. Y'all are in a book, by the way. You know that, right? The book is getting thicker and thicker. Are you ever planning on opening more locations when the chance arises? I always answer this with I like being married a lot. She's awesome. She's running our shipping department down there. That's it. Those crying babies. Oh, the stories I had to tell, both in store and online. Online really opened up my eyes to I did eBay sales and Amazon sales, but oh boy, I'd never seen anything like this. Once again, 99.99% of you are awesome, amazing, incredible. There's that 0.01% though. Do you know when creepazoids might come in? I don't, but they'll usually be. You just look at the street date. Creepazoids would probably be a week before the street date, unless they push it back. I don't know. All right, this is probably one of the longest sessions you've done. Oh, oh, okay. Mark, I'll answer this one because I love barbecue. Mark, what's the best barbecue spot in North Carolina? Where are you at? Uh, Iron and Oak. Iron and Oak. That's in a small town called Woodfin, just slightly like it's in our same county. You go up a river road. It's by the French Broad River, and like maybe 5 minutes out of town. Iron and Oak has brisket and fantastic. Brisket's not North Carolina barbecue, by the way. So that's good. If you're going 40, this is world known. I thought they were good. The food comes out fast, comes out on a plate as soon as you sit down almost. But Lexington barbecue in Lexington, North Carolina, that's very well known. Um, don't be afraid of the parking lot. I saw tour buses and church buses out there. I thought I would not get a seat. I thought it would take 2 hours, but once again, it's a barbecue, so everything's ready to go. So I got served within 5 minutes of sitting down. If you want what North Carolina barbecue is known for, I do suggest the Lexington one. I thought it was pretty good. Um, I grew up in Memphis. 10 years of my life were in Memphis, and that's good. But that's that tomato based. It's definitely pork and chicken and stuff like that. But in town in Asheville, Iron and Oak, I don't think they're open 7 days a week. And then also it's one of those situations where when they run out of something, they run out of something. So there has been a few days here and there where, like it's a Sunday and they're out of everything. Oh, dead pits, come on! You ask me this every time. Do you want me? Like you used to be the investigative journalist here. Come on. You guys have a great channel. You have so many great topics. You're probably more connected than I am. So Dead Pit's asking, did anyone ask you about the mysterious studio that is Sandpiper Pictures? Who the fuck are they? Uh, the ball's in your court, guys. Come on, come on. You guys do it. Um, I can. Okay, I'll give this to you. What I do is I'll ask my rep. I'll ask my rep who the hell Sandpiper is. Um, it feels like that maybe are the remnants of some other company, right? It feels like maybe some people from Olive. uh, This is just a guess, or another company that shut down that handled like the. It almost seems like it's just MGM licensed material, right? Which MGM has their own thing too. If you have like bestseller came out earlier this year and things like that. So I'm confused about MGM titles. So I thought it was all Amazon at this point, but the MGM titles are scattered to the four winds. Thankfully, we get a title like Return of the Living Dead by Arrow, and then of course, Shout Factory did a great job of that too. So, um, no, um, I will ask for you because I love you guys. I will ask my rep about Sandpiper, and we'll see what's going on. If you help me track down Discotech. Help me with Discotech. I'll help you with Sandpiper. How's that? Let's work together as a team. We got it. Have you heard anything about the Thunderbird 60th anniversary set? I mean, we got that one from the UK that is selling very well. I think that's coming out fairly soon, right? November? Is that right? Uh, Good. You think Sandpiper's Twilight Time? That's a good guess. I mean, that's a really good guess. I'll look at Thunderbirds for you. All right. To be announced for Thunderbirds. Yeah, yeah. We're thinking it's gonna be pretty soon. Sorry about that. Um, we've heard about the Sandpiper rumor, South Shadow Company. I like that one. Go with that. It's a live chat every time the week, same time. Yes. So my goal is, and now I've been out of town. I'll be going out of town again in about 3 weeks. I was supposed to go to um, Trent Reznor's Composer Festival. That was in LA with John Carpenter, Claudia Cimetti, Danny Elfman, Mark Mothersbaugh. Who else is in that? Questlove was going to do Superfly. Of course, Reznor was going to play the White Lotus composer, the Joker composer. She was going to be there performing, and they canceled it. So we're just going out to LA for a few days. That's the first full week of November. So I guess about 3 weeks from now. But um, yes, every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when I like doing these. So first time we came to Asheville, we didn't go to eat, went to this Mexican place that's absolutely packed called Papa's and Beer. We eat there every time we go down there now. Yeah. Yeah. So Papa's and Beer actually has branched out. It's a chain. I think my dad told me my dad was in food wholesaling. I think actually there's only one chain technically for every Mexican restaurant, if you can believe that. If you've heard the story about like the Indians owning the hotels, I guess that makes more sense. But anyway, Papa's and Beer is very good. We do like there's one on Patton Avenue called Taqueria Munez, and there's a food truck just down the road from us on weekends. Sometimes Thursdays, sometimes Sundays, but definitely Friday and Saturdays. That place is incredible. But we do like Papa's and Beer a lot. That bean dip is incredible. The American Psycho box on Lionsgate Limited is crazy. Appreciate the Huey Lewis CD package. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if we'll see that or not. I'm hoping one day we'll be able to work with Lionsgate to pick up some of this stuff. We'll see what we can do there. We are getting one of our white whales, and we've been in great communication with this company when they started. But they were doing their own thing, their website and stuff like that. They reached out to us actually, maybe from this chat, because I think maybe someone asked about this company, and I said I would love to work with them. So we are getting our first actual stock from this company, hopefully in the next week or so. So yeah, never say never. Never say never about Discotech. Never say never about Lionsgate Limited. It could all happen, right? All right. Well, I need a stronger drink. I've been here for an hour and a half, and also I'm getting a little hungry. So I'm going to end this, but this has been great. But anyway, yeah, Thursdays, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And I'm happy to answer any question you have that I can answer, which is mostly I don't know is my answer to that or huh. But anyway, yeah, have a great weekend. It's going to be a beautiful fall weekend here. Have a great time. Enjoy football. Love football. Enjoy all that stuff, and have a wonderful week. And more stuff to come. It's coming. The rest of it's coming in the next few days. So hang in there.